Your dog follows you to the bathroom. They follow you to the kitchen. They follow you from room to room, with the kind of quiet persistence that would be unsettling in anyone else, but in them, it just feels like love. And you have probably assumed that is exactly what it is. It is not that simple. What is actually happening when your dog tracks your every move is something researchers have spent decades studying. And what they have found changes how you understand your dog's behavior, their emotional world, and the reason separation is so much harder for some dogs than others. Because the behavior that looks like devotion is actually a psychological mechanism. And whether that mechanism is healthy or not depends on something most owners have never thought to check. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand your dog's following behavior in a way that will genuinely change what you see when you look at them. 1. Your dog is not following you because they love you. They are following you because of how they have learned to feel safe. John Bowlby developed attachment theory in the 1950s to explain the bond between human infants and their caregivers. The core principle was simple. Small, vulnerable creatures attach to a primary figure not primarily out of affection, but because proximity to that figure regulates their nervous system. When the attachment figure is present, the creature is calm enough to explore, play, and engage with the world. When the attachment figure disappears, the system goes into alert. Researchers at the Family Dog Project at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest spent years investigating whether dogs form the same kind of attachment to their owners. What they found was that dogs do not simply enjoy your company. They use you as a secure base, the same psychological mechanism that human infants use with their primary caregiver. When you are in the room, your dog's nervous system is anchored. When you leave, the anchor lifts. Your dog following you is not just affection. It is a nervous system regulating itself in real time. 2. There are two kinds of following. Most owners cannot tell them apart. Secure attachment and anxious attachment look almost identical from the outside. Both result in a dog that wants to be near you. Both produce the behavior you have been calling shadow behavior. But underneath the surface, they are completely different psychological states. A securely attached dog follows you because your presence feels good to them. They track you out of positive association, social preference, and genuine enjoyment of proximity. When you leave the room, they notice, and then they settle. They are confident that you are coming back because their entire history with you has taught them that you always do. An anxiously attached dog follows you because your absence feels dangerous. They are not tracking you out of preference. They are tracking you because losing visual contact with you triggers a neurological alarm. The following behavior is not about being near you. It is about preventing what happens when you are gone. Research published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that anxiously attached dogs showed significantly elevated cortisol, the primary stress hormone, even during brief separations in familiar environments. The dog was not stressed because you were gone. The dog was stressed the moment you started to leave. Their nervous system had learned that the departure is the threat. The dog who follows you everywhere is telling you something. Whether it is comfort or anxiety depends entirely on what happens when they cannot follow anymore. 3. What happens in your dog's brain the moment you walk out the door? There is a window in the first 30 minutes of your departure that most owners never see and almost no one thinks about. Research tracking cortisol levels in dogs during owner absence found that the stress response peaks within the first 20 to 30 minutes in dogs with anxious attachment patterns. Not after hours. Within the first half hour. What this means is that by the time you have reached your car, your dog's heart rate has elevated, their cortisol has spiked, and their brain is now in a state closer to threat response than resting calm. The dog who seemed fine when you closed the door is not fine. They were in the first seconds of a stress cycle you were not there to witness. This is why the behaviors associated with separation, destructive behavior, vocalizing, inappropriate elimination, are almost always concentrated in that first window. It is not random. It is the peak of the cortisol curve expressing itself through whatever outlet is available. And here is the part that matters most. The dog did not develop this response because they are badly behaved. They developed it because they learned, at some point in their relationship with you, that your absence is not safe to be in. 4. The reason your dog greets you like you have been gone for years. You have been out for 45 minutes. You come home and your dog greets you like you have returned from an expedition. The intensity of the reunion has always seemed like confirmation of how much they love you. And they do love you. But the intensity of that greeting is also data about what the previous 45 minutes felt like for them. A study from the University of London found that dogs with anxiously attached bonding patterns showed significantly more intense reunion behavior than securely attached dogs. Not because they were happier to see you, but because the reunion represented the termination of a sustained stress state. The greeting is not just joy. It is relief. Securely attached dogs greet you warmly and then settle. Anxiously attached dogs greet you like the world has been restored. Both responses feel like love from the outside. Only one of them is psychologically healthy. The intensity of how your dog greets you when you return is one of the clearest windows into what their experience of your absence actually looks like. 5. The one thing that determines whether the following behavior is healthy or not. It is not the amount of following. It is whether your dog can settle in your absence. Secure attachment is not built by being present all the time. It is built by being consistently predictable. The research on the secure base effect in dogs consistently shows that what creates a securely attached dog is not constant proximity. It is a reliable pattern of departure and return that the dog has learned to trust. You leave, you come back. You leave, you come back. Over time, the dog's nervous system internalizes that departure is not permanent, that absence is not danger, and that the anchor will return. What creates anxious attachment is inconsistency, not absence. The dog that has experienced unpredictable returns, high anxiety departures, or owners who feel guilty leaving and communicate that guilt through their behavior, develops an attachment system that treats every departure as a potential loss. If your dog follows you everywhere, the question is not how to stop them from following. The question is whether they can exist in a room you are not in without their nervous system going into alert. That capacity is the marker. That capacity is what you are building or not building in every pattern of departure and return you have ever established with them. A dog who chooses to follow you because you are their favorite place to be is not a problem. A dog who follows you because being without you feels like a threat is asking for something different. They are asking for the kind of consistent, predictable presence that teaches them that the world is safe, whether you are in the room or not. And the good news is that you can build that. It starts with understanding the difference between the two kinds of following, and then paying attention to which one you are looking at. If this video gave you something, hit like and subscribe to Paws and Purpose. Leave a comment telling us how old your dog is and whether they follow you everywhere. Because the more clearly you understand what your dog is actually experiencing, the better everything between you gets. And they are not asking you for much, just for you to understand them.